Hey there, welcome to today's episode. My name is Gwen Lane. If we've never met or connected before, I help influencers increase their income, influence, and impact. And I've been doing this for the last 5 years now, and I've seen the evolution of influencers and the difference between the ones who are doing this successfully and doing it for the right reasons. So let me know if you can see me or hear me okay. Let me know if you're watching. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know who's on. We have some people jumping on right now, or if you're watching the replay, put replay in the comments. And I'm going to get started right now, and this recording is going to be on the podcast, and this video is going to be here on Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you're watching from, thank you so much for tuning in. Welcome to the Spark Show. In this episode, I'll be going over why influence equals impact. And I'm going to be talking about what being an influencer really means, what it is and what it isn't, the 3 essentials to growing your personal brand, and the number 1 thing that makes you stand out from everyone else. So first, let's talk about what being an influencer really means. So let me know in the comments, what does being an influencer mean to you? A lot of people have different meanings or interpretations of this. I talk about the word influencer in the podcast. I think it was episode 1 or 2, really early on. So let me know in the comments, what does an influencer mean, being an influencer mean to you? Hey Mariana, hey Nayeli, how are you? Is it Pumpkin or Poonken? Let me know how to say your name. Hey, thank you guys so much for watching. So first, let's talk about what being an influencer really means. And by doing that, I want to talk about what it's not. So it's not about getting the likes, followers, and all that stuff. Now, some people might think that's what being an influencer is, and that's kind of like the pop culture term, right? Oh, she's an influencer, she has a lot of followers. But that's really not, that's like the superficial definition of it, right? It's not just about that, because you want to think about, okay, who is actually liking these posts? What are they actually saying? Is it true engagement, or is it just like engagement? Because it's easy to double tap and like, right? It's harder to comment, interact, to vote, to say something. It's harder to save, it's harder to follow. And also, are those followers the right followers, right? There's a lot of Instagram models out there, and I'm not hating on the models, but a lot of them get a lot of people that just follow them because they like how they look, and they may not necessarily know them or like them or trust them, but you know, they attract the followers just because of the photos that they're posting. And so it's not just about the likes, getting followers, and all this stuff, and we'll talk more about what it is about in a second. But it's also not about getting free stuff and perks, right? It's nice to have the perks, and it's great that it comes along with it, but that's not what being an influencer is about. If you're just being an influencer right now to get free stuff, you're going to be very disappointed, because it takes a lot of work. And if all you're doing is to get free stuff, well, it's not a business then, right? Because getting free stuff is not going to pay your bills. It's not going to pay your rent. You're not going to build a brand. You're just going to get a bunch of free stuff. And this is what I've encountered a lot with teaching hundreds of influencers, is they get the free stuff and they're like, this is great, but how am I going to make money, and how am I going to actually do this as a full-time thing? If you're not making money, it's a hobby, and it's okay if it's just a hobby for you, right? But what are you going to do with all that free stuff? Most of the brands that send you free stuff, it's because they want you to promote it. They want you to take photos of it, and taking photos of things, unless you're just taking a photo with your phone and that's it, and you're not actually creating a shoot or anything like that, it takes a lot of work to put these shoots together. It takes a lot of work to put the content together, to plan the content, to create the content, to edit the content, to produce the content. And if you're just doing that for free lipstick, then I feel like that's not worth it, right? It's maybe worth it in the beginning when that's all you're getting, but you should have an end goal in mind, right? And if your end goal is to get 1,000 free lipsticks, like, what does that even mean, right? Are you even helping anyone by accepting that product? At the end of the day, are you then creating impact, right? So it's not just about getting free stuff. It's great. The perks are great. I love the perks. I get to go on sponsored trips. But when I'm on these trips, I'm actually working. Like, people think that, oh, you get a free trip and it's great. It's great because I get to go and I get to have fun, but what you guys don't realize and what some of the people don't understand is that you're actually working on the trip because you have to get content for the brand. So it's not just getting free stuff and the perks, and I want you guys to understand that right now. And it's also not just about taking pictures and videos without meaning and intention. So some people just like to take a product photo and they think that that's good enough. No, it's like, what is the message that you're trying to say? Why are you posting this photo for your followers, right? You need to have meaning and intention behind it. So that is what it's not about. And a lot of people think that's all it's about, and it's really not. And if you are still believing that that's what it's about, then you're going to either come to a realization after a couple months of doing this and you're realizing it's not worth it because you're not getting all the things that are still keeping you unfulfilled. So let's talk about what being an influencer is about. So let me do a check-in with you guys. Does that make sense about what it's not about? Let me know in the comments. We have Stacy here, said influencer is someone who can lead a crowd. Personally, as an influencer, I define myself as someone who uplifts the community and teaches them something useful. That's awesome. Stacy Mariana says, I see it as sharing value with a specific group of people through social media. That's awesome. Karen's joining us. Hey, Adriana's here. How are you guys? So let me know if that makes sense, that, some people think that's what being an influencer is about, but it's not. And some of the people that sometimes come into my community, they say all they want to do is get free stuff, and really that's not what this is about. This is about helping your audience. That stuff is actually the brands, they just want you to get that stuff in front of your audience. And so you need to understand that it's not about you getting free stuff. Okay, so what is being an influencer about? It's about creating a connection with your audience by being you. It's about you being a leader, a teacher, a mentor, someone that they look up to, that shares their story, that, is able to build, to share vulnerably so that they can share it too, right? And it's about helping your content, or helping people with your content by inspiring and empowering them. Similar to what Mariana said, it is about providing value, right? It's not about you getting value just by having a lot of followers. It's about you providing value to your people. And that there's a big shift that happens there when your followers and your audience realizes that you are there for them. You are in service to your audience, and you're not just trying to get free stuff and collecting followers just to get the free stuff and the perks. It's a huge shift in intention, and it's when your audience is really going to start knowing, liking, and trusting you. And then it's also about building a community and creating a safe space. So a lot of influencers that I know, they started it because they want to help people that's gone through the same journey as them. They want to help people in their weight loss journey. They want to help people that have gone through chronic disease, or they want to help people who have gone through trauma in their lives. So you need to figure out what that value is for you, and stop thinking that it's all about the likes, the comments, the free stuff, and all that stuff, because at the end of the day, that stuff's not going to be enough for you as a motivation and fulfillment for you to spend hours and hours of your time, because it does take time to do this, right? If you want to build that following, you have to do it from that intention of good, and we'll talk more about that later on. So does that make sense now, what an influencer is not about and what it is about? And now I want you to, when you're scrolling on Instagram, I want you to start thinking about, okay, is this influencer coming from a place of good, where they're trying to build value and create value for their audience, or they're just not, and they're just trying to do the other stuff? So I want you to be more aware of that. for yourself and then for the people you follow. And then for the people you follow, start thinking about how are they doing it where it makes you compelled to follow them, right? What are the things that they are doing that makes you be like, oh, I trust this person? Because that's the same kind of connection that you want to build with your audience. So I don't want you to copy what they're doing, but I want you to learn from them and to, you can check out my channels and see how I connect with my audience and also how I engage with my audience. So let's move on to the 3 essentials to growing your personal brand. So the 3 essentials are influence, income, and impact. And this is what I help my students grow and monetize. So first, let's talk about influence. So influence is just the ability to impact. You're able to educate, entertain, help them see a different perspective, and inspire actions and decisions. And you do this by showing up for your audience, sharing your story, being vulnerable, being consistent on your channels. It's gonna take time and effort, and it's not gonna happen overnight. I say this over and over again in my podcast, my videos. You'll hear me saying it over and over again because people are expecting sometimes like, oh, I've been posting for a month, I should have, 10,000 followers by now. That's not how it works. It's not just going to happen if you show up whenever you want. You have to be consistent. You have to come from a place of good. You have to provide value. And the question is, are you willing to do it? And this is why a lot of influencers quit right away, is because they just wanted the free stuff and the free followers or the lots of followers, and they see that, oh my God, it's actually going to take work to do it. And so you have to have a really strong motivation and a reason why you're going to do it. Otherwise, you're probably not going to stick around. And I want you guys to be the ones that stick around, because I know if you're listening to this right now, that you are one of those people that want to create that connection and provide value and build a community for people to help them and to make an impact, and not just for all the vanity stuff, right? So influence is one of the big things that you need to build if you want to have a successful personal brand. They need to know your story. You need to be sharing it. You need to be consistent on your channels. Now let's talk about the second essential, and that is income. So your brand, your personal brand, is a business, right? Unless you're doing this just for fun or just as a hobby, if you're not making money, it's a hobby. And that's okay too, especially if that's all you're going to do. You're going to keep your job and you're going to do this on the side. But let me tell you, it's a lot of work. And if you want to do this full time, you have to have a plan to monetize, okay? And so if you do not have a plan to monetize and you don't have a strategy and system in place, it's going to be really hard to make an impact when all you're thinking about is the income, right? And so I teach people how to get brand sponsorships and how to launch a digital offer, because as an influencer, you have 2 customers. I talk about this more in detail in episode 25 on my podcast. If you haven't listened to it yet, please go do that today if you can. And I talk about your 2 customers, right? You have 2 customers as an influencer. You have your audience and you have brands who want to get in front of your audience. Now, if you're just posting and you don't have a strategy and system in place, then it's just going to be a hobby for you. So some of you are in the Spark Society VIP, which is my program that helps you get started with brand sponsorships. Let me know in the comments if you are a VIP member. Put VIP. Some of you are in my #sponsored program. Let me know which program, and if you're not in any of them yet, why not? And I also have a new program that teaches people how to launch to their audience. And if you're ready to launch a digital offer and create sustainable recurring revenue, you can apply for a free breakthrough session with me. But this is only for those who are ready to commit and invest in growing their influencer business now. And you can head to the sparksociety.org/call to book a free breakthrough session with me. Remember, this is only for people who are ready to grow and invest and launch their first digital offer in the next 90 days. Because I talk about this in episode 25, where brands are great, brand deals are great, but they're not sustainable because you don't really know when you're going to get a brand deal and how many you're going to get every month. So if you're looking to do this full time and you want to create sustainable recurring revenue, then you want to have an offer that you are offering to your audience that's going to help your audience and impact your audience, and so that you always have something to offer them, so that you can help them on a deeper level. And so if you're just working with brands right now, that's fine. But as you're growing your following, which brands, they are going to start looking at your following, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to get brand deals right away. But if you're looking to get paid a higher amount, it's going to be proportional to the number of followers that you have, because that's usually the rate, right, that they base the amount of the brand deal sponsorship on. So while you're waiting for your following to grow, you want to have an offer that you are able to help your audience with, whether that's a coaching program, whether that's a course, whether that's a membership or a download. You want to create that consistent recurring revenue, so then you can actually build and grow your influencer business full time. So I'd love to know in the comments who wants to do this full time and who wants that recurring revenue. Put full-time influencer in the comments. Let me know who wants to be a full-time influencer. And really, you have to have two business models. You have to have the brand sponsorship model, and then you have to have the digital offer, which is going to keep you afloat, so that you'll have consistent recurring revenue every single month coming in, whether or not you get a brand deal that month. Because brand deals are great. I talk about this all the time. I love brand deals. I just worked with a great brand, but you don't know when they're coming, right? It's like clients. You need to keep getting them all the time. And so you want to make sure you have a digital offer that you can sell repeatedly and scale as you're waiting in between those brand deals. And it's great to have both, right? You guys have heard that, a lot of millionaires and billionaires out there have multiple streams of income, right? And it's the same for influencers. If you're not tapping in to the two streams of revenue that you can be having, and then you can have other stuff too, like merch products, you can have affiliate marketing and all that stuff, but you want to start with those two offers. You want to have a brand sponsorship offer, and then you want to have a digital offer for your audience. So again, if you are ready to launch your digital offer in the next 90 days, book a call with me. I'd love to talk to you and see if you're the right fit for my launch program. It's thesparksociety.org/call. I'll put the link in this video in the comments after this video. So we talked about the two essentials, influence and income, and the third essential to growing your personal brand is impact. This is really the end goal of an influencer. It's the ability to help others and make a difference. This is really it. If this is not your goal, I'm going to say this slowly so you get it. If this is not your goal, if impact is not your goal, then it's not going to last. People can see if you're genuine, right? You can see if a person is genuine and authentic, and if you really care. If your goal is to only promote your business or to get money from brands, it's not going to stick. I'm just going to tell you that right now. Just think of the influencers you follow right now. You usually follow them for a reason. They either give you helpful tips, inspiration, they give you some sort of value in your life, or you just like them as a person. That's what you need to do that as well in your own way. So income, influence, and impact. So let me know what you need to work on right now. Is it influence? Is it income? Is it impact? Is it all of the above? Let me know in the comments, what are the three essentials that you need to be working on right now, or what is the one that you're working on right now? So let me check the comments. Jasmine said full-time is the goal. Karen said full-time, that's the goal. Stacy, Mariana, amazing. So definitely book that call, apply for the call if you are ready, because that is something that you want to be doing right now, because even people with less than 1,000 followers, they could be selling their digital offer right now. Okay, so the number one thing that makes you stand out from everyone else, let's talk about that. So first of all, you're already unique, right? No one can be you even if they tried. The sooner you get this, the easier things will be, because you can stop trying to be anyone else but yourself. No one has the same story as you. No one can replicate you even if they tried, right? But the number one thing that is really going to make you stand out from everyone else is intention. And I talked about this earlier, like, what is your intention? Is your intention just to get the followers and the free stuff, or is it your intention to help people? The reason why you're doing this, that is your intention. You need to know that reason, and you need to share it with your audience so that they know your story and why you're doing this. And also, this is the reason that's going to motivate you and compel you to show up every single day. It's a message that you as a human being need to get out there. And it's what's going to get you through the hard times, because I'm going to tell you right now, this is not easy. Like, I am going to tell you that it's not impossible, but it's not easy, right? It's easier when you have a mentor and a teacher that shows you exactly what to do. And that's why a lot of you guys are in my programs, because instead of trying to do it yourself, or maybe you've tried to do it yourself before and it hasn't worked, but if someone can show you the way, it's great. But at the same time, you still have to do the work to get the results, right? I can't do the work for you. So you need to get clear on your intention right now and make sure that your people know about it, because once they know that you're not just in it for the fame and fortune, you'll gain their trust. And that is the most important thing. It has to be unique to you and your story. So just to recap, we talk about what an influencer means, what it's not about, what it is about. We talked about the 3 essentials to growing your personal brand, which is impact, income, and influence. And lastly, we talked about the number one thing that makes you stand out from everyone else, which is your intention and why you do what you do. So now I'm going to do an outro for the podcast, because this is going out, but I'll be staying in for the comments and answer some questions. So that's it for today's episode. In the next one, I'm going to be talking to my good friend, Tyler J. McCall, about how to build a unique brand with your personality. Thank you so much for tuning into the Spark Show, and I'll see you in the next episode. So that is it for that recording. So I want to go back to the comments and chat with you guys a little bit. So I want to know, what is your intention for building your influencer brand? So let me know in the comments right now, who's here, who's watching. Let me know, what is your intention for building this brand? Are you here to do it because, you want to create a full-time income? That's fine too. What kind of impact do you want to make? Why is building an influence so important to you? So just let me know in the comments, and I'll wait for you guys to let me know. So Stacy said she needs to work on influence. So does Victoria and Karen. Kalpana is here. She said to make a massive impact. I love that. Anyone else want to share their intentions? Like, I'm a big believer in putting it out there so that people know and the universe knows. And I'm a big believer in manifesting things. So when you put stuff out there, it's actually good for you and good for the universe. So, and also you guys are here watching, so might as well participate, right? So Mariana says full-time income and spreading awareness and teaching about natural living. I love that, Mariana. I feel like that's such a need here, especially with like all the chemicals and people getting sick, eating processed food and all that stuff. So I think that's really, really important. Stacy says, I want to help others find their confidence and inspire them to follow their passions. I mean, I think that is super, super important, because a lot of people are stuck at their jobs, not loving what they're doing, but they're tolerating it because they think for some reason they have time, right? So definitely, I think that's so important. I feel like Stacy, one way to do that is to, I don't know if you want to be a life coach or if you want to have some sort of inspirational products. to help people get through that. I know some people who they have planners and books and stuff like that to help them find their passions. And Nolan said educate and inspire. Diana said to help new moms get back into working out and give families travel tips with kids. Diana, I love that so much. I feel like that's such a great niche. Especially like if you're a new mom and you were able to, get back into working out. Maybe it's really hard for new moms. I mean, I've never been a new mom, so I don't know what it's like, but I've heard from friends that it's really hard to get that body back. So I'm sure, and some people it's not hard to get their body back. For the people that it is hard, that might be something that would be really, really beneficial for them. So Jasmine said, my intention is to impact other women to live their best lives through fashion, beauty, and plant-based life. My goal is definitely to be a full-time influencer. Jasmine, I love that. I want to be more plant-based in my life. And so definitely if that's something that you could do, if you could do like plant-based wellness or health coaching, or have a program to teach people how to go more plant-based in all of that, in not just like food but in fashion and beauty as well. Like I've been meaning to get more or buy more products that are more plant-based, and that's better for the environment as well. Victoria says, I want to help others maintain a healthy work-life balance by giving them resources and empowering them to make time for the things they love. That's amazing. There's so many people that are overworked, overstressed, and I feel like that's such a great niche, because you can help them find more time, and time is the most valuable, most precious thing, right? And so if you can help people do that, you can create definitely something for your audience who want to maintain that health work-life balance. That might be a cool like planner idea, or some sort of program that they can go through that helps them like carve out that time, and you help them go through exercises and get clarity on what is important in their life, because we all know time is all about priorities, right? Karen says, I want to help other women to be the best versions of themselves for women over 30 going through divorce. I also want to help women with weight loss. I'm building my life coaching business and would like to integrate being an influencer into it. Yeah, Karen, that sounds amazing, especially if you already have a life coaching business. Even if you don't, even if you're just starting from scratch, that's totally fine too, as long as you're willing to help and want to help people, and you've gone through it yourself and you found yourself a way to get out of it, and you have the experience, then definitely is a great way. So Karen, if you haven't booked a call with me, definitely do so. I'd love to know if I can help you do that. It's a great time to launch right now, or to set up a launch, because a lot of people want to launch before the holidays or right after the holidays, because everyone wants to get their life together for a new year, new you. So it's actually a really good time right now to get your program together and to launch in the next 90 days. I'm helping a couple clients of mine. Some of you guys are here watching, and I'm helping them launch, because I know that it's hard to launch something if you're trying to do it yourself and you don't really know what to do. I've launched my membership a lot in the last couple years, and I actually know that there's a lot of stuff involved, right? There's a lot of tech involved, there's a lot of design involved, there's all these people you need to hire, like a copywriter and all that stuff, and that actually adds up. And so with my program, we actually give you access to my team, and we help you do that, so that you don't have to hire all these people yourself. And we've done it so many times that my team are pretty much experts on it. So yeah, if you are interested in launching your digital offer in the next 90 days, definitely apply for a breakthrough call. Remember, this is only for serious influencers who are ready to commit now. Like, it's not something that, oh, maybe I'll call and maybe I'll do it like next year. Like, we only want serious people and action takers. So if you're like still dabbling and still don't really know or not sure, then that's definitely not for you. But for those of you who are like, I want to do this full time and I need to figure it out, I haven't grown my influence in my audience that big yet, and so brands are going to come a little bit later. But as you're growing brands, you could be helping clients now, you could be helping your audience now, you could be creating recurring revenue and sustainable impact now, right? And so definitely book a call with me if you are ready. So Kalpana says, help make an impact and inspire single women 30 plus who want to chase their dreams while finding real love, who also want to connect with like-minded women through travel locally and around the world. I love that. I feel like there's such a need for that. And Kalpana is one of my students in my new launch program, so I'm really excited to help build that out with her. So that is it for today's video. I hope you guys are doing great, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.